Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I've got turn 54 of Skids. It's been almost 2 weeks since we last had a turn. I started bullying the lobby a little bit to try and get one out. And yeah, we finally got a new turn. So, trying to remind myself what happened. So I believe we had TNC, Berytos, and Xibalba all fighting Helheim. Hinnom is throne rushing, and as part of that, did not attack Xibalba, which shocked the shit out of me, but did attack Fomoria, Berytos, and Marverni, trying to get out another throne over on that side. Marverni won a pretty significant victory, and so I'm very concerned about this throne rush's chances. I think it got spread a little bit too thin. And it also didn't go for the path of least resistance. So let's go ahead and hop in. Oh my, we've got a scroll bar. Okay. So we've got a lot of stuff. This is going to be a pretty long episode. Let me get some water. Okay, I've got some water. Hopefully my voice doesn't completely give out on me. I did just do a round 2 turn casting, and I think that was about 45 minutes. A lot of those have been pretty long, but we have got action, and we've got some messages. So from Xibalba, played by Lunaticman, maybe you missed it, but 221 has a discount site. We'll have to check that out. And then, you know your scales are absolutely trash when you have to use cave kobolds to max out sacred recruitment in your cap. Don't worry, we had False God and I had scales in a Disciples game, and I still couldn't max recruit my sacreds because my cap circle was trash. So it can be both. Okay. And then we've got what I presume is a magic phase attack. I exist for Kidzin. It's claimed. And then Shintaro the Crab General. That does not sound... Oh, but it's the AI. The AI is not going to rename. Sad. Okay. So, Marverni attacking Hinnom. We've got Call of the Winds. Landing on heavy infantry. Not their favorite pursuit. Could easily lose this. Yeah, they don't have great morale. The commander might survive, though. Nice. Alright, then we've got Mekone attacking TNC. A few Draconians going after one PD. I don't think we need to watch that. Wait, did I skip Hinnom? I think I skipped Hinnom. Oh, another Call of the Winds. Okay. Not going after heavy infantry does a little bit better. Alright, in Indron, we've got Helheim going after Xibalba. So let's go ahead and check this out. One glamour gem. I think this elf is toast. Although they are unblessed. But just the 2 fire drakes. Okay. So, kills the Hellcarl, kills the 3 Herdmen, loses 5 Jaguars, which are sacred, and 4 Lizard Warriors. So, somewhat heavy price for what it was. And then, so that was here. Then in Trentspore, we've got 2 battles in Trentspore between 3 different players. We've got Marverni attacking Hinnom. bringing out the great boars to lead the boars. Potentially sacrificing the means of production. And we've got Berytos rolling in with a bunch of Draconians, so clearly they're not communicating, which isn't terribly surprising. So the real question is, did Berytos kill any great boars? And the answer to that is no, just 31 regular boars. And then we've got Hinnom attacking Grey Barrier. Blue Flame. Light of the Northern Star. Oh, it's E2 Glamour 1. Oh, are these the cave kobolds? Interesting. Okay. But, I mean, it finds a whole Marverni army. So I think this bird is torched. It might gem bait, though. I mean, we did see Light of the Northern Star go up, but that could be gear. Yeah. So that's from the banner. Okay, so he just kind of pings it and retreats, I guess. That could be stuff that was trapped inside of the fort, and he's trying to get it out because the fort's cracked. So it should retreat to neighboring provinces. And I believe this is Hinnom's throne. Then in the Barren Crags, we've got Helheim attacking Berytos. So we've got a ghoul under under dark skies. My brain said gray skies because of the gray background. Okay. Then in Runia, we've got another bump. So moves to take out the independents. You know, they're not a serious issue. Even in their slightly weakened Dom 6 state, hoplites can kill that. And then Helheim also moves in. So we've got a Jarl with 2 Glamour Gems. He might get smited out. He already got clobbered by one, I thought. Here's the Bless again, for those who might have forgotten. Oh, is it the horse that's dying? Mirror image. Oh, mirror image is saving him. Okay, so the prophet is killing some of the mirror images with the smites so far. Now, as a reminder, the reason why they ran right away is because he buffed Dread. So that was the horrible Visage cast. And then this stuff should HP route the Prophet. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the Prophet with Heroic Battle Prowess. Increased attack skill. So when not running away, it's actually something like 22. I mean, this guy would make an okay little thug, actually. You know, with extra hit points and whatnot. Alright, so the elf makes it through despite losing his mount. And we've got Berytos moving into Mountains of Mist. And it does seem a little bit like Berytos is pivoted towards Hinnom. Okay, so we have a party of shed. 15 shed. And then in Karnag, we've got Marverni. Rolling out a golem. A very basic kit with 9 attack. Should be enough. But I will say this kind of golem is very vulnerable to counter raiding and magic phase attacks. Alright, so where was that? That was here. Then in Scorpion Cracks, we've got Xibalba attacking Helheim. Fire Shield, and we've got that mix of troops and then Shade Beasts. That's worked so well. He's using this mixture because these guys might berserk, and these guys have 30 morale. Probably actually would have been preferable if they went for the archers in this case. Okay, so that succeeds. Where's that? That's Scorpion Cracks here. It loses 1 Shade Beast. In Silbermark, we've got a ping on the army. And oh my, it's a big army. I believe we looked at this last time. Now, these Meteorite Guard are going to slow down the center of the line. So maybe ideally this line would be in front if you wanted it to stay contiguous. He should have enough commanders to maybe consider splitting this into 3 lines too. Which I think might be a little bit better because they can target different things then. Who is this? Nugalu? Alright. I think we saw him last time. Here's all the kit. We see a lot of gems on these mages. I'm assuming a lot of the mid-game things are going to come out. Maybe some late-game 8s. Does have pretty good research right now. Okay, then in Green Sink, we've got 2 Glamour Gems again, going up. And this is a fair amount of PD. Complete with Jade Maidens. And they got the Bless. I don't think on all of them. Yeah, but on some. And Hinnom's Bless. Or wait, this isn't Hinnom. Enchanted Blood. Oh, this is Okay. Hinnom. Nope. Hinnom's not even in this battle. I'm drunk, I guess. Okay, so Bless, not nearly as intimidating. But it can certainly make them tanky enough to help harass down the elf. And getting blessed gives him morale, so that does help too. That flashing effect was from the, what was it, the like bewilderment. So it causes them to sometimes go crazy and attack each other or do nothing, if I remember right. Shroud of Bewilderment. Alright, so that province is defended. Let's see, this was Green Sink, so loses Jarl to a lot of PD. I guess getting 6 Sacreds in your PD is pretty nice. So that got PD dumped a bit. In Uric Balcor, we've got Marverni attacking Hinnom. These great borers are really risking it. There's not a lot of borers coming with here. Okay, but they do end up victorious, and I don't think any of them died again. Okay, and then where was the other one? Yeah, none of them died up here either. So that was Uric Valcor. Then in Sitha, we've got Hinnom attacking Marverni. Little commander, nothing here. In Farseer. Okay, if I remember right. Okay, these guys are pretty cool. They've got the handful of acorns LLPs. And this guy has an Amulet of the Dead, which gives him the spell Animate Skeleton, which is pretty neat. It's a pretty budget way of turning a scout into a D1 mage, which isn't normally something that you want to spend gems on. But in this case, it helps him put together this interesting little raiding party. The imps struggle because they've got 1 morale. But the Vine Men and the Long Dead can kind of help keep things balanced. Oh, and there's a Manticore here. So if you remember this guy, here's the buff script. They only have 5 morale, but they also have a big fear aura themselves. Well, it doesn't do anything to these phantasms. Alright. So a successful raid from I think that was here. Alright, in Druidland, Marverni attacks Hinnom. We've got a Bane, the built-in Bane Blade, going up against 1 PD. Could be interesting. Down to 8 HP, gains Battle Fright. And runs. Okay. And dies. Okay. So Hinnom successfully defends from that Bane. That was down here in Druidland. In Silver Fangs, we've got Xibalba attacking Helheim. Little ball of Sacreds with some Beast Bat bodyguards. That guy's only got 9 morale. Alright. Murder kitties do what they do best. Let's see, that was here. Then in Troll Canyons, got another Aussie raid. As a reminder, this Xibalba is pretty nasty, bless. And the murder kitties aren't even the best units in his armies in some ways. It could be argued that the scorpions are, because no one's been able to kill those tanks yet. Alright. Then we've got Cloud Breakers, so Mekone going after Tianchi again. We have a fully kitted out thug, sort of swiftness. He's got a precision bonus, so not a great heroic trait, but still a pretty solid commander, especially with Fire Shield. Should clear up this PD pretty quickly. Alright. So that was down here in Cloudbreakers. Then in Troll Peaks, Helheim attacking Berytos. Letting Berytos know that he hasn't forgotten about him. Just one PD. Gonna kill that. That was led by a Dis. Dis are pretty cool because they fly, so they have an insane 26 flying map move. Alright, and then in Black Alps, we see some aggression by Berytos. Just a bunch of... Please tell me these Draconians are no longer starving. Some of them are diseased. Okay. But it doesn't look like they're starving anymore. It's just one PD. They should be fine. Alright, 52 Draconians. Then Hinnom goes back on Marverni. So we've got a mill cart here with a shade mail. The shade mail is cool because it gives stealth. So this guy can raid the cap and then stealth away. Then also has heroic quickness for a huge combat map speed. And attack quicker, so I believe they also get quickness. But it doesn't look like it comes with the tag. It just says maybe they'll move and attack faster. So I'm not sure if he gives the actual quickness buff. Marverni, it doesn't look like was patrolling anything. The small cart should be able to clear this, especially with draining weapons and berserker. But milk carts are pretty cool. We can watch them work. Not every day that the food walks up to the milk cart, after all. Alright, dinner time. Let's see. So that's Marverni. So Marverni's cap is locked down for the moment. Then in Vangar, we've got Helheim attacking So 2 glamour gems, a similar sort of deal with this Jarl. This is a lot of PD though. Same buff script. Looks like this guy's getting worn out. These guys have just gotten broken. They aren't doing anything. I guess they didn't want a friendly fire. But yeah, Thug pulls it out. Just not a very high quality PD, it looks like. Should be able to kill these trees. They've got real bad attack. And there's nothing to help them harass down anymore. There we go. Okay, so pretty successful raid from Helheim. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting where we were. I think that was here. In Delka, we've got Mekone attacking Tianchi. Another pull march, slightly different kit. Now with the bright mail, which comes with reinvigoration, which is pretty nice. So it's built in. And then still has swiftness to help him get across the battlefield. He's just gonna kill this one PD though. I don't think we have to watch that. Where was that? That was here. Then in Gladewoods, we've got Helheim attacking Got another thug. This one's twice born and diseased. So, and crippled. So not long for this world, but has unequaled obesity, so has a shit ton of hit points. And has some equipment to try and make use of the whatever time they've got left. Should be able to kill this. It is a hang-a-draw. I think it's the same sort of... Oh, no, we've got a Soul Vortex, Iron Skin, Soul Vortex, Temper Flesh script, so it's a little bit different. These Hangedrots are just absolute beasts. Okay. So here's the Bless as a reminder. Okay. And then, where did we leave off? I think that was Gladewoods. So then in Spirewoods, we've got Berytos attacking Hinnom. Another pack of Draconians. This is Fort PD, though. But if they jump on the leadership, they ought to be okay. Yeah, so now there's no leadership, so... Draconians won this one handily. That is here, so only loses 2. Marverni going after a main, actually. Yeah, and this was, I think, at least 20 PD because he got the second commander. Alright, in a main, we've got a Bane Lord, bigger than a Bane, many more hit points, better protection. Should be able to maybe grind his way through all this. Alright. Banelord takes it. Then we've got Tianqi. So Tianqi pinging. The 1 hit point, disease, chest wounded, limp, mute, battle frighted, feeble minded, lost an arm, celestial master who just wants to be put out of his misery. And we see the Mekone army. Very similar army in scripting to what we saw him use against Fomoria and Tianqi earlier. So I don't think we need to look at that too much. Wait, that was here. Then in Florian, spoiled this one a little bit, but we've got 2 Crypties, each with LLPs, and a lot of defense. Going after some PD. It's pretty cool too, because they can wade on the imps. Okay. So that was right after Tianqi. Then in Green Marshes, we have Mekone, not Mekone, we have Hinnom attacking Berytos. Call of the Winds on a Berytos army. The army didn't care much. Lost 3 troops, 2 of them to friendly fire. Let's go ahead and see what we're looking at mage-wise. Okay, so Berytos has mill carts now as well. He's got 4 of these Baratin priests, and I've been chatting a little bit with him, so I know what he's doing with this kit. So this is a high HP with regen kit, where I believe he would also buff regen as well. So they'd be 20% regen, 38 hit points. With larger, I believe they go to at least 40 something. Which means he gets, I think, 8 regen a turn on 20% regen. If I'm thinking of that right. I mean, he can correct me. But yeah, so I think we're looking at about 8 regen, which should be enough to support a fair number of masters. So he's brought a few brides in waiting. Each of them has some gems. He's brought a Crystal Sork with an Athame to go ahead and be a Communion Master. Another Lion Tribe Witch Doctor, also with an Athame and a bunch of Nature Gems. And a Thistle Mace. So, and then we've got a Milk Cart with a Crown of the Dead. This is for Undead Leadership. So you can lead all the demons and script them. Milk Carts are nice because they've got a nice morale bonus for all the squads, basically. So you can really go ham on laying out your army. And this guy's also the gem mule for the army, but has fire and I guess blood slaves that he'll spend. Then we've got another milk cart here with some earth gems, a couple more Athames, so on a couple of storm callers with air and water gems. So this looks like, and based on what I've heard, this is a late game army. He's the research leader by a large margin. He's got a solid mage core here. He's got a bunch of his shed. He's got a bunch of Beryton elite soldiers for chaff and archers. And what he's going to do is he's going to put all the level 8 buffs that he can reasonably cast on this Sabbath on this army. And that includes, I think, like Army of Giants, Army Regen, Army of Mist, the various resistances. It's just going to be all the things. And Hinnom is nowhere near this research. So I think this is an army that can just walk over to a Hinnom fort or Hinnom's capital and just go take it. So we'll have to see what Hinnom can try to pull out of the bag against that. All right. So that was here. Then in Ard, we've got Ulcan the Milk Cart. So he's got a Ring of Regen. Pretty basic kit, but he'll definitely kill this PD. Then in Valrest, we've got Mekone attacking Fomoria. And we've got a Flying Cryptes Thug with Black Steel full plate. So 25 protection, 14 defense, a Shock Trident, and extra shock resistance to prevent from killing himself or hurting himself. And then in Silverwall, we've got Xibalba attacking Helheim. Another little budget squad of Ocelotl. Should kill this one PD. So these are very efficient raids from Xibalba. And very difficult to deal with for Helheim because of the Blood Vengeance. And just because Ocelotls are very killy. Marverni attacks Hinnom. We've got another boar attack. This time going after some rough fights. But it looks like they are going to go ahead and run. So that's successful. Then I get some gold. Yay. Maybe someday I can go ahead and rebuild my lab. All right, and then we have what looks like basically a Gaia attack that maybe took a really long time in coming. And we've got the Hangadrot here. So it should be able to deal with this. Yeah, this is the obesity one. The Bless, all the fatigue just went away. So that was kind of cool to see. Although that was from Soul Vortex, not the Bless, but the Bless didn't cost fatigue, unlike the rest of the script, so he got to catch up. So at 0 fatigue now, I can probably just kill tons of these trees. Although here comes a particularly large one. It's got only 8 attack though. And this elf isn't that harassed down. If it does hit, it hits for 18. But the Hanger Drough's up to 47. The horse is up to 34. Can they keep up the tree spam long enough to get to Twilight, though, is what I'm wondering. Oh, there we go. Hanger Drought wins. Almost got there. Got up to round 79. Alright. Cool. So that was a large number of battles. It took us almost 40 minutes just to go through them all, but I do like seeing all the different thugs that people are building, and I feel like all of that gets skipped if you just look for big battles or fish for those. Alright, so with Helheim, there's not a lot of Helheim left. So here's their cap. They still have a holding here that where anything that TNG raid took from Helheim is now getting taken by Mekone. So part of that is Berytos being slow to move out to maybe look at Barren Crags or this throne. But Berytos going ahead and moving in. And then, but Mekone here did a pretty good job because now he's, whereas before he wasn't going to get TNG, he was just going to get Winden and Glanis. Now he should get TNG, and he's going to get the full cap circle for it, so that there's a lot of, well, there's not a lot, but there's a fair amount of resources in these two that can help feed these two forts and help him produce more giants from them. So that is pretty cool. And then, I mean, we'll see if Hinnom does any sort of counterattacks. It looks like there's a sizable army here, but the Berytos army seems to be deviating to go take this throne from Marverni slash Hinnom slash Fomoria. I guess Marverni is not involved directly in this one, but they neighbor. So, and then Marverni's on the Throne of the Moon. This is the Throne of Life. I imagine if Berytos moves here, they're going to want to take it. I don't think Berytos is going to care too much what Fomoria thinks about it, is my guess, but we'll see. And then, because he no longer, unless he uses this pass in the summer, he no longer has a direct route to Barren Crags. So if he wanted to go straight for Barren Crags, he needed to go to Black Alps. But he's chosen to go through the swamp, so I think he's going to go for the throne. TNG is cracked, so Mekone's going to go ahead and storm that next turn, I bet. Assassinations. We've got a Cryptes assassination. So another defense thug. Similar kit to the other Cryptes, except no LLP now. Oh, that decay is pretty dangerous. Oh, hit him with weakness. So that does affect him, it looks like. So now he's gone from 20 to 18 strength, or I guess 21 to 18, including the experience. All right, so the Cryptes wins that assassination. And then, but yeah, so we were talking about Helheim. So I think Barren Crags might be safe for the moment. If this goes well for Mekone, Mekone might look at vulturing Barren Crags, is my guess. I don't think he's going to look at this throne and go, I don't want this throne. He might feel bad about ganging up on Helheim more, but I think to him, Helheim's looking pretty dead, probably. Especially with here. He owns blue water, so he sees all the Xibalba pressure. So this army might just move over to Barren Crags, is my guess. And then I think this army is going to head for Kasavik. And then he might not care about Marverni. He might just invade Marverni. We'll see. But it certainly does seem like Berytos isn't as intent on going after Helheim anymore. There's some raiding here, but it doesn't seem like he's working overtime for it. And then we've got the main army heading towards Helheim. So Helheim did not try to crack this siege. So these, how many units are here? Near 500 units are going to go straight to Helheim, I'm guessing. And then Helheim with a pretty clutch job trying to get these gems back, but doesn't have any. Oh, he does have a connection. He's got a lab here. So he does collect this gem income, which is really important for him. You know, there's death gems in here. I guess 1 death, 1 nature, earth, air, glamour, 2 glamour. Meanwhile, Xibalba's moved on to Giant's Rest with his 2nd army. He did initiate the invasion with 2, but Helheim killed 1 of them. Helheim still has his main army, so he gets to choose if he wants to fight or if he wants to fight Xibalba. Xibalba is annoying because of all the blood vengeance, and I doubt Xibalba is going to mess up their Sava scripting again for the Divine Blessing. But then is probably going to have a fair amount of, pretty powerful magic. I mean, there's a lot of gems here, so it kind of depends. Some advantages for going after is has to deal with dark skies, although it's not very strong Dominion here, so it's only -3. But on Helheim's cap, it'll be -6, which is pretty strong. Does get stealthy preachers? Has he been preaching this Dominion down? Maybe Xibalba does, but I don't see Xibalba doing that for It could just be the Dominion weakening. A lot of Dominion pressure from and now not a lot of temples or preaching pushing back. So that could be a lot of it. Because the Helheim Dominion's a lot stronger here. Alright, so we'll have to see who Helheim chooses. Out of these 2 armies, he might choose Xibalba, because this fort's cracked. If he's written off the fort, and he's opting to fight Doom stack on his cap, then that would be another choice. So, I mean, both are valid. He could try to kill this army and then pivot. I think if he kills this army, he's not going to have enough left to pivot. So I think he just has to choose what he defends. And then I think this army is just maybe it can gateway home to Helheim and help with the defense. I'm not sure. Or into Giant's Rest even. But it kind of depends on what mages he's got access to. Alright, so I think that's it for Helheim. For just needs to keep doing what he's doing. I would like to see more troops from these giant garrisons following up behind the army. I don't think there is any reason to lose these two provinces. Could have had like groups of, I don't know, like 20 to 50 troops with maybe a couple of mages following behind, just kind of securing everything, providing reinforcements. I don't think you need to have these large gaps between your doom stack and the raiding parties that are clearing the way for it, and the line of reinforcement and supply. Holding onto the slab would also be really nice, especially if you had mages and scouts here, because then you could resupply your army with gems. And I believe we've seen Distant Horizon get gem baited pretty hard in the past on Asphodel. And this army it has some temporary gem gens, but not a lot. So unless he's got scouts following along. Oh, and is that like a pretender crown? So, but yeah, unless he's got scouts following along behind with stuff, yeah, that it is. I am a little bit concerned that he could get gem baited and then Helheim could bring a fight against this army under Dark Skies and win and really shatter this army and maybe do some retreat route cutting with Hangedrots. And it could turn into a disaster for her. So I am a little bit concerned about that. I do think it's good to keep garrisons away from the front line, but I do worry that this is a lot. It kind of depends on the quality of the players you're playing with, if you trust them or not. If they're trustworthy players, like they've never broken an app with you before, then you can probably keep a smaller garrison, and then if they decide to end their nap, you can hire a bunch of the troops to fight with the mages at that point, and maybe do some summons and whatnot. And then you can keep a lot of these troops moving. Now, I do want to give them some leeway, all that said, because I believe he is doing some blood hunting. So we've got a bunch of corpses here. But he's not blood hunting Curtain Wall, he's not blood hunting he's not blood hunting Black Forest. So I do think more of this stuff could be heading down. I think he has identified these two provinces as important though, which is good because he's got little garrisons on them too. But yeah, I would... Oh, we've got another army moving out. Okay. So we do have this army moving out as well. And I think what's happened is the lobby has realized that Hinnom's throne rushing. And so they're sending large armies to put an end to it. So you've got Marverni's army here. Marverni threw him off of Sitha last turn. He's got Grey Barrier under siege. And then this army is going to come down to Nilmeria, which honestly, a little disappointed in Berytos. I think Berytos should be trying to take this throne. He's got all this stuff in the area. I think he should be trying to grab that. So, but we'll see. But this is a pretty large army as well. Did we fully look at this? So he hasn't even taken the Sanguine Dowsing Rods off yet. So this looks very spur of the moment. Got a Spear of Morrigan. And then a Lioness. I mean, we'll see. It could be as simple as he just decided Fomoria was dead, took Old Man Mountains, and was like, I'm going to blood hunt here now. It could be that simple, but I think Berytos should be lobbying to get Nilmeria. We'll see though. But then, yeah, we've also got the larger army moving down towards Helheim, and I presume it would just keep going to Felden Forest if Mekone or Xibalba don't take it. But I think there is potential that Helheim could try and beat this army despite the research gap. And it would take a gem bait, so we'll have to see. Meanwhile, Xibalba secured a bunch of territory, a bunch of gems. Very efficient Ocelotl raids. And he's cracked Giant Rest. So, I mean, his part in this war is almost done. So all he's got to do is run out, grab these two provinces, and there's a fair amount of gems in this one. I mean, we're looking at 4 gems. And a fair amount of income. So I think we'll see some raiding stacks go after these two soon. But, I mean, then Xibalba gets to chill. He still has not reinforced the Throne of Death, but I do think the window is passed for Hinnom. And now he's just kind of sitting in his own thrones and defending. We'll see, though. All right, and then I think we've talked a little bit about Hinnom. We've talked about Xibalba or Berytos. Helheim. Mekone, I guess. I mean, it's just been a very methodical invasion of Fomoria, I guess. So he's raiding around Winden, but he hasn't really pushed past that. I think he had Wolfen Plain under siege up until Tianchi was cracking out, and then Helheim got invaded. So I don't know if he's pieced out with Fomoria or if he's taking the opportunity to kill Tianchi while Fomoria rebuilds and maybe tries to deal with all this stuff on his northern border. But we'll have to see. I don't know if they've done some sort of Diplo. It does look like they might have done some sort of Diplo. But I think if you've done Diplo, you don't assassinate people's Numidian champions. So we'll see. I'm not convinced that Mekone has made peace. But we'll see. Mekone's certainly got a fair amount of production in the area. So he's got all these forts. Should probably be picking up Tianchi next turn. And then can probably swarm over this. I mean, Fomoria's got 3 forts left that are unsieged. Or no, 4 forts. But it looks like he's put together another army. The main question is it going to come north, try and save his throne? Or is it going to head east and maybe try to make war on Mekone some more? And that I'm not sure. Because he does see this army now. And this would not inspire confidence in my keeping Kasavik Highlands. So we'll see what happens. All right, but yeah, I think that's most of it for this one. Oh, we can take a quick journey through the graphs. We can see Hinnom rapidly losing territory. Xibalba up, Mekone up from very efficient raids from both of them. Down a little bit because those, I think they were Hangar Droughts got into his backlines a bit. But he's in position to take Helheim's cap. Helheim is down a bit, primarily from Xibalba and Berytos raiding more than lost. Berytos is up a little bit, Marverni is still up, so they're actually starting to recover. They've had a fair amount of success against Hinnom, which doesn't really surprise me. And then Fomoria is down just a little bit. That's from the messiness of getting invaded by Hinnom as part of that throne rush, but then also having to try and defend against Mekone after losing a large army. And then, where's Sauromatia? I guess Sauromatia still has a province. I think it's their underwater one. So, but that's provinces. And then for forts, we've got Hinnom, Xibalba, and Berytos out in front. Might change soon for Hinnom. Xibalba and Berytos both might be moving up and Hinnom down. For income, has come down a bit. I believe that was from Riches from Beneath. I forget, did it get dispelled or overcasted? I remember there was some global stuff that happened with Dark Skies. I think Dark Skies overcast Riches, and then Mother Oak went down from Marverni because the one of the members of the Trinity died. So without Riches, Ur's income is down quite a bit. Hinnom's down a bit, but there are a couple of nations up a bit. That's Xibalba, Mekone. Even Helheim's up a tiny bit. For gem income, we've got out in front, and followed by Xibalba. So is tops in income, gem income, not forts, middle of the pack on forts. For blood income, we saw a lot of mobilization from Berytos this turn. I think that makes sense for that to drop. Ur's blood income is still rising, and is actually tied with Xibalba this turn for first place, which is hilarious to me. Then we've got, oh, and that reminds me, we'll have to go talk about that a little bit. All right, and then we've got research. We've got Berytos out in front by a large margin, way past anyone else. And so Berytos has entered late game. Everyone else is still mostly in mid game. And then there's still a few players that are transitioning to the mid game a bit in terms of magic. So this, I imagine this is going to be a pretty scary Berytos army that moves on that throne. I don't know that there's anything anyone in the area can say about it, with the exception of Marverni, but that's not his territory, because Gifts from Heaven just has that weird potential to upset anything, especially Sabbath. All right, and then we've got Dominion, we've got way out in front. Army size, we've got again, followed by Berytos and Xibalba. So the three largest army nations going after little old Helheim. And then we've got ascension points where Xibalba is now tied Hinnom. And you can see the throne rush hasn't secured any thrones. And he still hasn't claimed one of the thrones he already got, which I think is the Iron Throne. Yeah, up here. So he still hasn't claimed this. So it was still going to be tricky to be able to claim everything for a throne rush. But yeah, Marverni reestablishing a front line and pushing that back against Hinnom, even with Ard put under siege again. He's still got Grey Barrier under siege. The Boars are getting mobilized. Marverni might be under siege as well, but I mean, he's still got a fort not under siege, so he's still able to trace income. He's still got Gilgad as well. He does trace income through Pania, so he gets income through this too. But being able to go, I think for Marverni, being able to go out and get territory that doesn't have his scales could bring him a lot of money too. So we'll have to watch this development. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick was this army, where is it? This one. By attacking, or I guess, oh, he patrolled it out. This is a blood hunting province. Okay, I thought he attacked here. I'm completely missed. So he patrolled out this scout. So this scout from Fomoria can potentially, if they wanted to, and if they notice, not everyone checks their scouts when they get patrolled out. But if he looks and he sees circle masters and conjurers, he could potentially let the rest of the lobby know that is doing a lot of blood hunting. So that is one of the small advantages of patrolling a fort, is if you patrol them out on the forest and be like, oh, my army's patrolling, and they don't necessarily get to see that scout report with your blood mages. So I think that's it for this one. I want to see this Berytos army go on this throne. I think that would be a very strong move. I'm not sure. Like, yeah, you're fighting Hinnom as Berytos. You're not fighting Marverni, so there was some confusion over Transport. So he might have to talk to Marverni about that. Be like, hey, can I have my province back? We'll have to see, but I think this army can just go take whatever it wants. So we'll have to see about that. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.